Wait, what are we doing?
Is this the thing that we're doing?
It's a Zack Snyder opening.
Is this a thing that we're doing?
It's a slow motion.
Okay, we're going to talk about Rebel Moon.
Rebel Moon.
Now, we're a little bit late to this because Don was sick and on vacation.
It came out yesterday.
Oh, is that why we're late? No, we're late to this because everybody else who has early access because they're shills or whatever, then...
or they're bigger than us.
They get to see it first. Well, how could they be... Listen, they're one person. We're three.
Very good point, Mark.
And you count as 4.
Way to go, Mark. Good point there.
Just because my intellect is twice that of a normal person.
Yes.
So Rebel Moon came out on Netflix, and it's a sci-fi fantasy story.
It's almost Star Wars.
Well, here's the thing. Apparently, Zack Snyder submitted this script to Lucasfilm as a Star Wars movie.
And they said, no thanks.
They said, no thanks, we're good. They probably
we know what we're doing.
They probably made Rogue One instead.
Yeah, Netflix is like, over here.
And so he said, okay, him and his wife said, okay, we're going to change this into an original property. And to me, it kind of felt like Dune and Blade Runner and Star Wars mashed into one.
Yeah, there was definitely aspects of a lot of space opera stuff, right? It was...
And when I was watching, I said, okay, before I knew anything about this, I didn't look into it, I didn't see any reviews, I didn't know what it was, and I'm watching it and I'm saying, I hope this gives Star Wars a run for its money.
I wanted that too.
And then I was watching it and I said, this feels a lot like Star Wars.
Yeah. It's not doing what I quite wanted it to do.
This is like Star Wars with a new skin.
Yeah.
So do you want to do the plot or what?
Well, basically these bad guys show up and they do bad things and they decide we're not going to take it anymore and we're going to gather the Magnificent Seven and we're going to fight the Caballeros and defend the town. Oh wait, that's the Magnificent Seven, but in space.
Yeah.
Who was on the Magnificent Seven was the Seven Samurai. But, we digress. I think this plot has been done before a lot. This movie is basically, we got to defend our town, and we're going to gather up as many people as we can to defend it.
Yeah.
That's the plot of this part 1.
Do you notice something, though, about the bad guys in this movie?
It's always the same.
They were absolutely no character depth. Just bad.
No.
Bad.
No. They were Nazi bad.
Nazi bad.
They're
That's
always
right.
Nazis.
No, these were actual Nazis.
And all bad guys are rapists.
And every single one of them was a rapist.
Mm-hmm. Except for one.
The kid. Yeah.
The one young guy. Who, by the way, just disappeared after that scene.
So I'm thinking, this android and this guy who rebelled against the meanies, they're going to be part of the group. No, they disappeared.
Yeah, gone.
Well, the android shows up at the end.
With antlers.
With antlers for some reason. Maybe that's a big plot point in the next movie.
No, it was just hunting season.
Okay, but get this.
He was a decoy.
They released this, what was it, 2 hours?
Around 2 hours and some minutes,
Okay, they released 2 hours on Netflix, but it's a 3-hour movie to be released later.
The director's cut.
So maybe all that stuff is explained, but they cut it out for the 2-hour version.
Maybe it wouldn't have been 2 hours if they deleted some of the or sped up some of the slow motion scenes.
Now,
because there was a lot of stuff that was in slow motion that didn't need to be slow motion.
Yeah, well, I harken back to the Lord of the Rings when we were introduced to the hobbits, we're introduced to Gandalf, and then we're introduced to the other characters, right? And they all came together. We knew who they were. We knew their names. We knew what they're good at. Mm-hmm. One was a leader. One was an elf. We knew what they were. In this, we needed a guy to start... the king, at the end of the movie, starts explaining, oh, this guy is the biggest strategic mind that we've ever known. I never saw him do anything strategic during the movie. In fact, he was a drunk and just was a big guy in the movie. Like, there was no character depth to anybody else in this movie.
It was going from town to town saying, hey, do you want to join us? 2 minutes later, we're joining you. And you don't know anything about them. You don't know if they're cool. You don't know anything
You don't get to know them.
how they're going to contribute. Dungeons and Dragons, which was a failed movie, did it much better than this movie.
Yeah.
Because and I didn't really like that movie, but at least the characters that joined them had personalities and identities and contributed to the story.
Like even the warrior girl with the lightsabers that turned into lightsabers at one point. I'm going, well, she's going after because this spider thing is taking this child. Okay. Well, so she's just defending the town. That's what she does. Blah, blah, blah. And then we find out later, again, from somebody else that says, oh, the reason that she does this is because all of her children were killed by this, and that's why she... Wouldn't it have been nice to know that about the character?
This movie was filled with exposition.
Yeah.
And so I do like the universe, right, that he built. Like, a lot of good stories, I think, could come out of there but the dialogue with every character was just terrible. Delivered terribly.
But not only that, I hate to say it because it sounds mean, okay? But you have a bunch of people with different accents. And when they're doing English dialogue, it maybe doesn't come across as fluidly as it might with a natural English speaker. And I found that with a lot of the characters in here. Maybe they have a French origin or Czech or whatever like that, but they're speaking English. And I don't get the epicness or the emotional appeal of what they're saying because of the delivery is off a little bit.
Yeah, but I mean, they're talking like nobody would talk. Like nobody would talk. I was born of blood. Like you're sitting around a campfire.
Yeah, but that's the fantasy.
I know, but nobody talks like that, right? They made me a machine. What you're doing is you're taking an advertisement and you're putting it in the dialogue.
Well, the dialogue did leave a lot to be desired in a lot of the points. Even the twist that happens wasn't a twist. We knew what was going to happen. You know,
I didn't know it was going to happen.
You didn't know that guy was a traitor?
No, I thought they were making him up to be the Han Solo.
The minute he said, "Oh, I have to go and drop off these supplies," I said, "Okay, here comes a trap."
Okay, but that was well into the movie.
Yeah, but
that was right before it happened.
But I mean, they signaled it.
Okay, well,
instead of just having it happen, you know. Oh, by the way, I'm about to be a bad guy now. Right there in the movie, they told you. And
Get ready.
Just leave that scene out, and maybe it would have been a surprise, right? That's bad writing, is what I'm talking about.
The problem I had was at the actual betrayal, and then all hell breaks loose. Is that this is the point where you want all the different identities that you've come to know and love come together and be the heroes that they were meant to be. But you didn't care about any of them.
You didn't know any of them, and you could swap them out mid-movie. You could swap them out with someone else, put them in the same costume. You wouldn't know.
And when Blade Samurai Lady goes up against the Spider Queen, like that should have been the point in the movie that was so epic that everybody says, yes, this is my new franchise. But the fight itself was not epic at all. Like maybe in the 3-hour cut, but in this one, it was filmed in a way that was underwhelming.
In that movie, they should have made her so powerful that the spider had no chance. And she just wipes the floor with it instantly. Then we would have got a sense of, this person is amazing and meant to be feared, right? Instead, she's knocked around and pushed around, and it took, like, if the other guy hadn't run in and grabbed the child, she would have been dead. The spider would have killed her. So, like, she's not... Where's the epicness? Where's the I'm better than everybody else fighter? Why am I better than everybody?
At the same time, though, you don't want just female hero come in, wipe the floor with everyone.
Well, we already had that. The main hero was already that person.
I know, but that's...
She knocked out 55 soldiers.
I think he's trying to stay away from that.
But here's the thing about... Like, I kind of disagree with you. When the main character went into the barn and rescued the girl, that was epic. That whole scene was epic. I was all in at that point. Up until that point, I said, okay, well, it's a slow burn. We're going to get... And then, boom, that happens. I said, yes, she's the one I've been waiting for. And then she kind of takes a backseat the rest of the movie. Mm-hmm. Like, she doesn't do anything.
After that, yeah.
Until the end. But...
Well, you had to introduce the epicness of the other characters.
But when she went in and kicked butt...
That was good.
That was awesome.
That was a good...
Yeah. Well, it's like if you go back to a movie like The Magnificent Seven, they're all gunfighters. But they all had their distinct personalities and what they were good at. One was really good with like knives and arrows. One was really good on the quick draw. One guy was the strategic guy. One guy was a long shot guy. We knew what they did. In this movie, they're just these guys and they're supposed to be good. And other than the girl with swords, we knew nothing about anybody else.
The atmosphere of this movie, like there's... Like, they had the cantina bar from Star Wars.
Yep.
And it was good.
And they even had the singing.
Yeah, it was good. They had some originality in there a little bit, but it was the same idea. A lot of sexual deviance in this universe. A lot of the CGI, the green screen.
There was a lot of that.
Like they're standing on a set and they have this really flat background.
Being on a stage, yeah. There was, in fact, when the opening of the movie, she's on the farm doing her farm stuff. It looked like that. It looked fake.
I didn't catch it there, but later on when they're with that king with the things coming out of his thing, in that place it looked really fake. Lots of places.
There's a lot of look places. Anytime they do green screen, it all now looks fake to most of us in every movie. So not just this one. Is it a replacement for Star Wars? Well, maybe the new Star Wars.
I will say this for it. Had they actually taken this from Snyder, had Lucasfilm taken this from Snyder and made it a Star Wars movie in their own way, but this was the script, I think it would have been epic.
It had a lot better chance, yes, in the Star Wars universe.
Now, but without the budget and without anything going for it, I imagine they had a pretty decent budget, but not Lucasfilm.
Zack Snyder, they probably had a pretty big budget.
I think it was $200 million or something like that.
Yeah.
But as its own property, it's kind of middling.
I think there's potential to do more with it.
Well, not if they don't write the characters better.
No, they'll have to do a lot more of that, but I think there's potential.
Like, what is the character's name? Tell me any character in this movie we just watched last night. Name me a character's name.
I'm not good with that anyway, though.
Exactly. But we came out of Star Wars knowing everybody's name.
Yeah.
The minute we walked out.
Yeah, but we weren't 50 years old.
Doesn't matter. We can't remember one character's name. Oh, it's the king guy. What's the bad guy's name in this movie?
Yeah.
Commander somebody.
I don't know.
Right?
Sacco. I'm going to check. Fact check.
Commander Sacco shit? What?
And edit.
But that proves my point. If you cannot write a character that I can remember a name, you did not write a character.
Korra.
No,
Oh, that was close. Close.
Well,
Sacco.
Korra, part of the Avatar universe. Sokka, part of the Ahsoka. Anyway, whatever.
That said,
Avatar and Ahsoka. Yeah, they're same universe, folks.
Anyway.
But that proves my point. If we cannot even remember one character, the hero or the bad guy, this is not a replacement to Star Wars, unfortunately.
But is it something that you enjoyed watching? Like, not from a critic's point of view.
it was okay.
It was okay. It was an okay Netflix film. Again, right?
Yeah.
That's the problem. And the problem is that this is part one. And now when they're saying, hey, tune into Rebel Moon 2. Yeah, I can't wait to see Unnamed Hero 1 with Unnamed Hero 3. And I hope they get bad guy number 2 this time because we don't know who they are. Yeah. And this is supposed to be your origin story of these characters.
Less slow motion. That's what I have to say.
More character development.
And that.
Yeah, I'm thinking, did this go through any test screenings? Because I'm sure everybody would have had the same comments about it.
You would think. But, in fact, I watched this twice. Because I started watching it, I got about 2/3 of the way through, and then I had to stop, and I said, okay, I just started watching it from the beginning again. So I should at least know somebody's name. And I don't. Because I didn't care enough about the characters to learn their name.
Well, and they didn't care enough about the characters
to tell us.
to really tell you who this person is and what they're good for. So they're just like a part of the group. That's all.
And that's a shame.
Yeah.
So, are you looking forward to Rebel Moon 2?
I can't say I'm looking forward to it, but I'll probably continue the story.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can't wait. The good news is, bad guy number 1 is back.